Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So last episode we had the draft and the re-sign stage, and it was another tough re-sign stage for us as we decided to let go of two players that have been with us for quite a while, and that being Andrei Svechnikov. Main reason was he wanted a lot of money and we didn't really have a lot of money to work with. And then also we let go of Stephane Lacerte because he was wanting like $6 million to be kind of like a top 6 defenseman for us, which wasn't really worth it to us because we didn't want to really play him on the top 4. So we also let him go to free agency. So we let go of two big players for our team, and we are going to have to make some big signings this offseason to help our team out because we are a little bit weaker than we've been in the past, and I hope this team could still go on and maybe win a Stanley Cup down the road, because obviously last year we had a big heartbreak in the Tampa Bay Lightning knocking us out in only 5 games. And then Anaheim went on to win the Stanley Cup with Rohan House and Philippe Guerin, which was a little bit of a salt to the wound, so to speak. So before we actually get into the free agent signings, I do have some comments to go over, but I will go over something else first before we get into those comments, and that is I was taking a look at Anaheim's contracts just because I wanted to see if Rohan House got re-signed, which he did get re-signed for 8 years at $7.475 million. So he looks like he's going to be a Duck for the rest of his career potentially. And I don't know if his contract is that bad, to be honest. He's an 84 overall only, but should be interesting to see how he does with the losses that Anaheim had this offseason, because they did lose like Jaro Stillman, who was one of their best goal scorers, and then they also actually lost Philippe Guerin. So Philippe Guerin's now actually a free agent, which means he's going to be swapping teams for the second time in as many seasons, so that should be interesting to see where he goes and signs. But yeah, before we get into free agency, let's get into these comments. So the first one is from HawksFan88. He says, losing Svechnikov is a pretty big blow to your top 6. I think you need to get a new top 6 guy, at least 84 overall, who has good shooting to make up for that loss. And then I mentioned to him that there wasn't really anybody that's like an 84 that would fit that bill. So I mentioned maybe going after Dylan Nolan because he's an 82, and it looks like he could fit our second line, and he's got like 4.5 star shooting. Plus he also had like 26 goals last year, and he was only averaging like around 11 to 14 minutes on ice per game, which is not really a whole lot. So if you put him alongside somebody like Bullion and Kolimainen on that second line, then he could potentially put up maybe some pretty good numbers for us. So we're probably going to bring him in, and that's what Hawks fan says as well. He says, I think he would definitely be a good option. And then the last comment is from WMRA. He says, we're getting closer to where it's just going to be EA guys from now on, which is true because Andrei Svechnikov, I believe, is usually one of the last ones to retire that's a real player. And usually he retires around 36 years of age, and he's like 33 now, I think, or 32. So we're like maybe 4 years or 3 years away from there being not a lot of actual NHL players left, which is fun because I like it when there's a lot of EA generated players in franchise mode for some reason. I feel more attached to them than real players for some reason. So anyways, let's get into these free agent signings. So we are definitely going to sign Dylan Nolan, and we do need to sign a defenseman to replace Lacerte. We don't technically need to because Ramjas Singh might be ready, but I am going to sign somebody just because I don't know if Ramjas Singh is going to be ready. So first let's get our forwards. So the forward that we're going to bring in, even though we technically need a left winger, I am going to bring in Dylan Nolan. He doesn't want a whole lot, and there is no other teams interested in him. But if you look at his stats so far in his career, his first year in the NHL, he put up 15 goals. His time on ice that season was probably not that high. Yeah, only 11 minutes on ice with 15 goals. Then the second season, 13 minutes, he gets 20 goals. 10 minutes, he goes to 17 goals. Then 10 minutes, 18 goals. 9 minutes, 11 goals, which is pretty crazy. 16 minutes, 12 minutes and 52 seconds. And then, yeah, 22 goals in 12 minutes. And in the last season, he was dealt from LA to Ottawa, it looks like, or vice versa if he signed in Ottawa. I don't think so, though. Anyways, he played around 11 to 14 minutes, and he had 26 goals, which is a career best for him. So I think he'll be a pretty good option for our second line just because of the fact that it looks like he could fit there. And then he could also fit our penalty kill, which would be a good option as well. So we're going to give him a 1-year deal, and we'll just give him like $6 million because we do have $13 million in cap space left. So we'll give him a 1-year $6 million deal, and that gives us our winger that we need. And then the defenseman that we're going to get is the one I was looking at the end of last episode, and that was Rayom, just because he's a younger top 6 option, and the fact that he's a defensive defenseman and he's left-handed is actually key to an extent, because we do have a right-handed offensive defenseman in Larson on our top 6, so it kind of makes sense for us to have a defensive defenseman that's the opposite hand. So yeah, 1 year at 1.875 is a pretty good deal for this guy. He hasn't really played much in the NHL, as you can see. He played 1 full season way back here, but then Minnesota's been using him as an AHL defender for the last few seasons, and in this last year he was, I guess, a depth defenseman for them. So we are going to sign him to a 1-year deal and just give him a little tiny bit more, and that should be good. And then we'll still have some cap space over afterwards as well if we were to make any trades next season, but those are going to be our signings. And yeah, then we're going to also take a look at where Andrei Svechnikov goes and where Lacerte goes. And I'm also kind of curious on where Guerin goes, so we'll check that at the start of next season, just to kind of get a feel for where our former players are going. So let's advance a few days and see if we get those guys, which we probably should, because there was no other teams interested in those players. And yep, there's Dylan Nolan accepting our deal, so excited to see what he could do on that second line. And there is Rayom. So our signings are done. Let's actually take a sim 1 month and then take a look at where Lacerte and stuff sign already, just because I might forget if I do it at the beginning of next season. And yeah, we're gonna sim a little bit in this episode, but hopefully our team is just as good as last year, because last year we killed it, but we didn't fall apart in the playoffs, so we don't want that to be the case this year. No thanks, I'm not making any trades, because there was not even really anybody interesting on the trading block, to be honest. Like, there was a guy that fit our top 6, but he was like making like $6 million, I think, for 2 seasons, so I'm not gonna make any trades. Just doesn't make much sense to. Okay, let's take a look and see if Guerin and all those guys signed. They probably did, unless they are holding out for more money for some reason. Wait, this Svechnikov still a free agent? Yeah, Svechnikov is still a free agent, and apparently the Canucks are interested in him. That's interesting. Let's go signing. So Svechnikov is still a free agent, I think. Let's go back to, actually, wait, did I just see Harvey Jenner? Yeah, Harvey Jenner, or one of our former players from a few years ago, signed in Dallas. But let's go to the bottom of this list, and then we'll take a look at where those guys signed. Hopefully Lacerte doesn't go to like Tampa Bay or something, because if anybody goes to Tampa Bay that played with us, it's going to be kind of a, like, they're kind of being a douche about that, because Tampa Bay knocked us out so many times. So let's see, where did those guys go? Scroll through this a little bit quickly. So wow, Jero Stillman signed in Montreal. That's a big deal for them, because Jero Stillman had a 60-goal season a few years ago. Big addition for the Montreal Canadiens, and he's in our division now too, which is a little scary. Where are those guys? I know Svechnikov didn't go anywhere, it said. I'm just more concerned about Lacerte and Guerin than anybody. There's Guerin signing a 3-year deal in Carolina, so he goes to where Svechnikov used to play. That's interesting. So he's not in our division, but he is in the conference now. And then where did Lacerte go? Come on, Lacerte, don't go anywhere stupid. Okay, he signed a 5-year deal in San Jose. Wow. I'm surprised he got 5 years. He got a good amount of term with San Jose. And it means Svechnikov, I think it said, was still a free agent, which means we'll find that out at the start of next season, probably. And yeah, he is. Wow, he's holding out for a lot of money. He wants 1 year now at 10.35. We could almost afford him, but I'm not going to trade somebody to wait to get him back, because he's not worth it, to be honest. Okay, let's advance to next season, and then we'll have to edit our lines, and hopefully we have some good line chemistry. Like, I'm not sure exactly if Dylan Nolan's actually a good fit or not for that second line. Like, it was 3 bars scouted, but I'm hoping that he's a good fit for that second line, and then hopefully him with Bullion and Koimainen could do some damage, even though that's 2 snipers with 1 playmaker. Like, I was hoping that Nolan would be more of a power forward, but he's not. Like, there was some power forward options that we could have brought in, but they weren't guaranteed to fit our system that well. So, okay, so we're almost up here at the season. We're already going into 33-34, which is ridiculous. We only have like 10 years left, probably. Okay, so yeah, we're still listed as a buyer. Okay, that makes sense. And let's edit our lines. Okay, so Yeah, first line this year is going to be Matthews to Kaiser and Dingman, even though there's no chemistry. Wow, why is some guys dropping off a lot? They must have had a lot of statistical growth on our team, because De Kaiser jumped as in 87, Matthews is an 87, Dingman's still an 89, which is nice and high elite potential now. But Bullion dropped back down to an 86, but we know he can produce. Koliminen dropped down to an 86, but we know he can produce. And yeah, that type of thing. So Nolan is going to be on the second line here. Yeah, we could do something like that. Just want to check if these guys can play face-offs. No, they can't. Okay. And then third line, we will go something like that. That's fine with me. And then fourth line, wait, who's scratched? Petrovic. I need Petrovic in the lineup. Cannot have Petrovic scratched. And I think we could do something like yeah, I think I'll take out Fitzpatrick first, but Petrovic, and then I'll think, yeah, we'll do something like that. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, we'll do something like this, I guess. So De Kaiser, Matthews, Dingman, Bullion, Koliminen, Nolan, and then Wong, Pau, Petrovic, and Ouellette, Perrin, and Tucker. Obviously, with Nolan there now, our second line / top six in general is a lot weaker than it was with Svechnikov, but it still maybe could produce well. Like, Nolan's actually a pretty decent fit for that second line. Like, yeah, that's his best line for us, so should be interested to see how those guys play out. I know Bullion's going to come back with a good season because he's had some really good goal-scoring seasons the last 2 years. Don't know why he dropped back down to an 86, but whatever. And then defensively, we're definitely not running with Wall and Biggs on the top pairing. We're going to go like that, and then... Wow, Yakupov dropped down to a 76. Huh, and why is Savonin a 76? Still from morale? Yeah, this team doesn't look good because of the morale, I think. Or no, maybe not the morale, but the terms of a lot of players are dropping off statistically. Like, Savonin actually is a lot better, just he's been kind of not happy about his performance, so hopefully that jumps back up. It probably will. And goaltending wise, that's good. Punovs is an 88 now. He's going to want a lot of money this offseason, but luckily he's an RFA. Setting up our power play unit, we're going to go with Bullion on the point, Matthews here, Koliminen is going to be on the second unit, and we're going to go something like that, and Biggs is not going to be on this unit, it's going to be De Kaiser, and then something like, can Powell win face-off still? Yeah, he can. Yeah, we'll do something like that, I think. Yeah, that looks fine to me. And then, yeah, I'm going to split those two up again. And do something like that. And then penalty kill wise, I think we're going to... Who doesn't fit this penalty kill that well? Or does everybody fit this penalty kill? Okay, yeah, everybody's not that bad for this penalty kill. That's kind of surprising. Ooh, okay, so we'll do something like that. Move Matthews up and Perrin down, and... I don't know why Dingman's taking face-offs on this power play unit, but I don't really care about the penalty kill unit. It's been fine the last few seasons, I think. And then, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to make sure Savonin's on like the top PK to an extent, which doesn't seem to work unless I take Wall down, which I'll do. Just because I want Savonin to get as much ice time as he can, just because or else he will probably start to lose morale. And that is good to go. Okay, we are ready to start simulating. I think as long as the AHL is set up properly, and of course it is not. So we need Acker in the lineup, we need Parker in the lineup, Dunham, and Allen is scratched. Oh yeah, we have Mui as a depth player still. I'm going to take Mui out of the lineup in the AHL, but he might get called up at some point. So that's fine there now. And then Acker and stuff need to be in, so we need to take out Chartrand. Acker could come in, and he could go up to like that second line. We're going to take out Valen, because he's already 24. I mean, Dunham's not going to pan out. I'll still put in Dunham, but he's not going to pan out, which really sucks. And we're going to take out Peterson, and we're going to put in, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Parker could win faceoffs. Yeah, he can. So there we go, and there is our lineup in the AHL. Damn, our team is getting a lot of development, which is nice. Yeah, our team is getting some really good development. It's just like Hobbs is a fourth liner now, so Hobbs will probably play in the NHL next season, unless we already want to call him up and then take out Nelson Perrin, which could be an option. I mean, Perrin's not a great fit for our fourth line. I don't know where Calvin Hobbs fits, but maybe we'll call him up. And then Garrison and Alexandrov and Sedin are almost all ready as well. Do I call up Hobbs already? Do we have 3 scratch guys? No, we don't. I could call up actually Mewey from the AHL, but I'm going to try and call up Hobbs just for like a second, just because I want to see if he actually fits that fourth line better than Perrin. If he does, then Perrin could be a healthy scratch or sent down to the AHL. Let's see, does Hobbs fit this fourth line? Well, let's take... just throw in Peterson for the time being. I know this episode's going to be a bit longer just because I'm testing something out, but whatever. And Hobbs actually fits that fourth line pretty well. He fits the fourth line better than he does on the third line. And if we wanted to put him on a different line, we could put him on the second line, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I think we're going to keep Hobbs up here. And then I might actually send down Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think I'm going to send down Fitzpatrick and then just call up Mewey as a depth goaltender. Just because that's what I did last season. Damn, Ramjas Singh is pretty much ready as well. Yeah, we got some guys that we could actually bring into the lineup next season. Yakubov isn't that good. I'm going to send down Fitzpatrick, and then we're going to go to goalies and go to Mr. Mewey and get him in as a depth goaltender. And that should be good, I think. We're going to move Samson up, move Parker up, and then take Peterson. Actually, we could leave Peterson in. Potentially. Anybody really old down here? Actually, Laddie is, but I don't want to take him out. And we'll leave the rest of this the same. And then defensively, let's just make sure this is set up decently. Damn, Foose is already going to be in the AHL. That's awesome. Ooh. It seems like there's not good chemistry down there in the AHL. Unless we could get rid of it somehow. Which we don't... I don't think we can. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that, whatever. Okay, let's start up this season simulation and see if this team could play good. Do we even have a captain? I don't even remember. De Kaiser, Dingman, and Biggs is the captain. Wow, Biggs got captaincy before Wall. I don't know why the game gave it to Biggs, but whatever, I'll take it. Okay, so let's we're listed still as a buyer. That's good. Let's start up this simulation and see if our team could play good. We'll get the preseason done, and then we'll probably sim till like January the 1st, just to see how our team does, because we should be a pretty good team, regardless that we lost Svechnikov, which I didn't actually check where he signed. I have to check at the end of this preseason now, because I completely forgot that he held out. And there we go. So 6-1 in the preseason. Most points was Coley Mayan with 11-7. Let me take a quick look if I could go to the player search and find where Svechnikov went, just because I am actually pretty curious on where he signed. Hopefully it's not a team that we have to face a lot, because if it is, then we're gonna have to see him and he will probably score on us. So Svechnikov signed with the Vancouver Canucks, who were interested in him near the end. 1 year at $10.245 million, so he's going to be a free agent again next season. Interesting. Okay, let's start simulating 1 month at a time. Hopefully this team is maybe better than, well, I don't want to say better than in the regular season than last year, because last year we were really good during the regular season, but I want this team to be a good playoff team. Like, the regular season almost doesn't matter at all as long as we make the playoffs. But I really hope we have a better playoff record this year, because we have never been able to get almost to that second round. Like, one time we've been to the second round, and Tampa's been like a pain in the ass the last few years. So Ramjas Singh sprained his ankle. We'll go replace player. Damn, we're not off to a great start, 3-4, but I mean, if we're staying around 500, it might actually be a good thing. I know it sounds weird, but we might have a better season if we stay around 500. We're 5-5-1. to start the year. Demons got 14 points in 11 games, which is really good. But we are actually like 4 points back of a wildcard spot already. But this team will probably start to kick it off eventually. If we missed a playoff somehow after all this, I am going to be a little bit mad. But let me just take a look. Yeah, our expiring deals, what is it? Matthews, how much is he still looking for? Yeah, he's looking for a lot of money. He's going to be our big expensive contract this offseason, which means maybe Wall is gone at the end of the season, and then Punovs, I don't know if we're going to give him a lot of money or what. But let's continue to simulate. I don't know why our team is kind of struggling out of the gate, but hopefully they could start to find their footing a little bit. Because even though I'd like to stay around 500 and maybe be one of those cheese teams in the playoffs, I would still like to win games. Because this team should be a decent team. As we start off with another loss, and Ramjit Singh is back. That's good news for the AHL affiliate. Fitzpatrick was playing defense. Interesting. Wait, where is he? Did he already get put in? Yeah, he must have already got put in. Yeah, he did. Okay, whatever. And there's 2 big wins. There's a loss. And Elijah Petrovic has been injured. We'll go replace player. Damn, we're not off to a good start. I don't know if it's because I'm not playing Perrin. And Koch is back, which is good. Damn, the HL suffered a couple defensive injuries, so we'll just take out Fitzpatrick and put in Koch, who's been in that AHL team for like 10 years, which is ridiculous. There you go. Okay, now we're starting to win some games, and of course we lose our goaltender in Puno, so we'll go replace player, which we'll put in Mui. And then Petrovic is back. Damn, we're suffering a lot of injuries in our system. Take out Perrin and throw in Elijah Petrovic. And game against Colorado is another loss. Yeah, this team is kind of a bit iffy right now. I don't know if it's because we lost Svechnikov or what. Or if it's because our team is a little bit different with the addition of, what's his name, on the 4th line, Connor Hobbs. But Connor Hobbs is only a -1, so he's not been too bad so far. And Sedin was never injured, I don't think. So much pop-up and notifications. There's another couple losses. We're staying right around 500, which is not a good sign, but maybe we'll have like a really good month all of a sudden and then have a good playoff record. Like, Bouillon's got 20 goals in 26 games, and he's got 27 points. But this team is 2 points back of a wild card spot right now. Not that it really matters at this stage, but it's going to be a fight to get into the playoffs probably down the stretch. But 20 goals in 26 games. Damn, Bouillon's a really good goal scorer. I'm really glad I brought him in from Nashville a few years ago. Okay, let's simulate another month, and then I think we'll call it there and take a look at our player stats. Take a look at what's out there on the trading block just to see if there's any options for us for next episode. And then that'll be pretty much it. But yeah, hopefully this team can start winning games as Wall goes down with back spasms. That's not good. That's our top defenseman. And we lose 2 straight games against Buffalo. Oh my god, why is this team playing so bad? We might have to fire our coach. Because we should not be this bad. Like, we literally just lost in the first round, and now we're all of a sudden, like... We're kind of a really weird team right now. And now we're back to 500 almost again. I don't really know what to make of this team so far, but I mean, maybe we're going to have one of those up and down seasons, and in the playoffs we're just going to all of a sudden start clicking. Wow, damn, Ramjit Singh is like an injury-prone defenseman or something. He just separated his shoulder now in the AHL. We lose to Carolina, and Savonin has suffered a concussion. That's a big loss on the defensive core, and we're going to be 19-2 on January the 1st, which is one of our worst records so far, but we are only 1 point back of a wildcard spot, but the Sens have 2 games in hand. And then there's also like the Devils fighting for the playoffs, so it's going to be a very tough task to get us back into a playoff spot. But if we can make some decent trades if we need to, maybe we'll be a playoff team. But I don't know why this team is kind of struggling out of the gate. It must be a certain line or a certain defenseman, or maybe the goaltending's just not been as good as it should be. Let's take a look at our player stats so far for the season. I'll also take a look at the team stats just to kind of see what's been going wrong for this team so far. But Matthews has been pretty good, 40 points in 40 games. Plus minus ain't great, but whatever. Coley Minen 32 points in 40 games, so both of them have been pretty solid. Powell's got 23 points, so it seems like we're a good offensive team, but maybe our defense is just not there, because Powell is a -11, so it could be the third line that's giving up way too many goals. Hobbs has got 8 points in 40 games. He's only at -3. He's not averaging that much ice time. Yeah, only 10 minutes. But he's been not too bad so far on that fourth line. I didn't really want to rush his development, but I hope that he's a good defensive player for us in the future. And then Perrin's played 5 games with 2 goals. He could always go back into that fourth line role if Hobbs for some reason is not playing good in the playoffs, if we get there. DeKaiser, 43 points. He's got 23 goals. How much did we pay him again? 10.975. It's not too bad, I guess. Petrovic, 16 points. Tucker's got 10 points. Wong's got 10 points. But we're getting a lot of minus players in our bottom 9 players, it looks like, which is not good. Right wing wise, Dingman's got 42 points. Bouillon's got 37 points. Only 23 goals now. So he did slow down a lot in goal scoring. Nolan's got 22 points. And then Ouellette's got 8 points. So it seems like our top 6 has been really good for offense, but then our other lines have been pretty quiet, I would say. And then they've also been not great defensively. Defensively, 32 points in 36 games for Wall. Really good season from him so far, even though he did get injured. Biggs, 19 points, -14. So Biggs doesn't seem to be playing good defensively at all on that second pairing. Stewart's got 13 points, and he's a +24. Stewart's always out there for like the goals, I guess, because last year he was a +65, and the year before he was a +26. Like all of a sudden, he's just been a really solid defensive defenseman. Savonen's a -8. Lacerte, or not Lacerte, Larson's a -18. Realm's a -14, and Yakupov's a +3. Goaltending wise, yikes. So Punos might be the problem. He's an elite goaltender now, which means he's probably going to choke. He's 15-15-1 with an .883 and a 3.58 goals against average. Yikes. Yeah, Punos has not been good. Like, Nguyen's been really good as a backup, and Mui's not been good as a depth goaltender, but Punos has not been good. It could be the defense in front of him, but Punos is not playing like an 88 overall goaltender, or what they should be simulating like. Interesting. Yeah, because our top 6 is pretty much everybody above, like, Nolan's not been great actually for a second liner, but everybody above Koivumainen's been pretty good for points on the top 6, so. Okay, let's take a look at our team stats just to see what's been going wrong so far for us for this season. So we're right at 50% in terms of point percentage. We have 3.38 goals per game, which is one of the best in the division. But our goals against is worse than our goals for, which is one of the worst in the division. So we need to clean up our defensive play a bit. I don't know what the problem is, if it's the goaltending or what. Are we one of the worst defensive teams in the NHL? Yeah, we're one of the worst defensive teams in the entire NHL. That's not good. Like, goals for per game, we are kind of like around the middle. It's not great either, but we do need to clean up that defensive play a lot. Our power play is one of the best in the league, I think, or maybe around the middle. It looked like it was really good, but it's around the middle, 24.2%. And then our penalty kill, that's probably where we need to fix. Or maybe not. 78.4, though, is not that great. Interesting. So I don't know if we just need to address our penalty kill or if it's our goaltending or what. Let's take a look at what's out there on the trading block. And then that'll be pretty much it for this episode. So on the trading block, some prospects, nothing that we need. This Hater guy's got 3 years left. If he had 1 year left, I'd be kind of intrigued, considering this guy does fit our top 6. But he does not have anywhere that he would slot into our lineup, to be honest. Some more defensemen, Maximov. Oh, there's Cyrus Henderson, but he's got a 3-year deal. I was debating about signing this guy in free agency, I think, and he does fit our top 6, which is kind of interesting. But since he signed for 3 years, I don't know if I like that, because we do need the cap space. So I don't really like having guys sign for multiple years if we are going to be making trades. It'd be probably for a guy that's more of a rental. Damn, David Pastrnak is dropping off a cliff. Damn. More prospects, nothing that we need. A goaltender. I feel like I want to trade away Punos to an extent, but I don't know. Because, like, his value is really high. But we could, and then we could just pick up, like, a random goaltender that's like an 82 or something, but I don't know. Nicholas Kane, this guy fits our PK unit, which is good, but we don't really have any use for him. I don't know if I should put Perrin back in the lineup and then send Hobbs back to the AHL, because that could be an option, and maybe one reason why we're struggling, because I think Hobbs is on the PK now. But if you guys think there's anybody we could trade for, let me know. Like Travis Konechny's got 1 year left, but he fits our fourth line, but he's an 83, which would be a little bit weird. Hey, look, it's our former player, Lucas Raymond. He does actually fit our top line, kind of funny. And then Poirier is making too many years. I should check on how Lacerte and stuff have been doing on the other teams. I don't know how long this episode is. It's probably around 30-something minutes, but I apologize for that. Tyson Jost, Joe Veleno, Roddy. Damn, there's some really good players in New York, and they're all pretty much like centermen on the block. There is some good options out there if we want to bring somebody in. Dylan Coughlin's making too much money for 1 year. Cal Foot. Yeah, there definitely is some options if we want to make our team a little bit better, but I don't really know who we would want to get rid of. Like, Nolan's been a bit disappointing on that second line, but maybe he'll pick it up eventually. Tampa Bay's got... Wow, Tampa Bay must be going into rebuild, which is good, because I don't want to play them again in the playoffs, because Svechnikov's Sider, who they must have just signed, Sean Dursey, yeah, Sean Dursey, and then Jackson Van de Leest are all on the trading block, so they're getting rid of a lot of their defenders. Hurdle and Gauthier. Brock Besser's on the block. Damn, making $15 million. I remember when I was thinking about trading for Brock Besser at one point, but yeah, that's not going to be the case anymore. Barry Boulet. Washington's got some prospects, and Winnipeg's got Kempe, Yolonen. Oh, Beedrick Carney was one of the guys I was looking at before, but now he's signed for 3 years, and he only fits our fourth line probably. There's also Barrett Hayton, who fits our top line. So that's what's on the block. Let me take a quick look at, let's like find player and see how our former players are doing, and see how like Guerin is fitting in Carolina, and how Lacerte is fitting in San Jose, and Svechnikov in Vancouver. So Guerin in Carolina, how's he been doing so far? He's played 37 games and he's got 35 points, so he's actually having probably a career year. Only 5 goals, but 30 assists. Interesting. Looks like he might have found actually a good place to play, because he's averaging 18 minutes on ice, which he hasn't done since 2028 with us. Good for him. Maybe he'll get another chance at a Stanley Cup there. He's making 7.175 for 3 years. That's a little bit expensive, but I mean, it's around as much as we were paying him, I think. And then Lacerte in San Jose got a 5-year deal, which is pretty crazy. I didn't expect him to get that much term. And he is played 39 games with 7 points. He's a -8 this year. So that's what I let him go for, is he's not as good defensively as he should be. But good to see him playing in another team. How much ice time is he getting? A little bit more than he was with us last season, but the other seasons before then we played him more than they are playing him. So he's probably playing on the top 6 for San Jose, my guess. And then finally Svechnikov, before we end this episode, because I've been talking way too much in this episode, because I still got to record some other videos. So Svechnikov, let's see, how has he been? He has been really good as well. 21 goals, 35 points in 40 games. Only a +1 though so far in Vancouver. He's averaging a little bit less ice time than he was with us. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we might make some trades if you guys think it is necessary to help us push into a wildcard spot. But if not, we could just probably sim the remainder of the season, and maybe we will somehow get into the playoffs and be one of those last teams to make it in and be that cheese team to maybe win multiple rounds. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.